today we're going to start off a little bit different. This thing was hard to open, but we're just going to use the Dip Brow by e.l.f. I usually start somewhere like in the middle of my brow or whatever, and I'm going to do my brows the same way I did the other day. It's a different type of shape, but it really helps with a lot of my eyeshadow looks because it gives me more space to put eyeshadow. When I get to the front of my brow, I don't fill in the whole thing. I just fill in like the outer part, and then I kind of start to brush it with the brush part of the eyebrow brush. I'm not gonna lie, I had to hit a little happy dance because it's been a while since I used Dip Brow, and this was it. Like, it's what I needed. So I think from here on out, I'll be using eyeshadow only when I do more natural look. I'm just gonna clean my eyebrows up with LA Pro Banana and Almond mixed together, and I'm using a filbert brush. It's actually a paintbrush to clean up my eyebrows. It's just so flat and it's so soft, and it just does what it needs to do, okay? So after that, I kind of just buff it out with the same brush or whatever. So that way when it's time to blend with my foundation, it's much easier and it's not like a harsh line. I'm going to use what's left on my brush so that I can put on my eyes to get ready to prime for eyeshadow. Now we can start getting into the eyeshadow look that y'all been waiting on. The first color I went in with Juvia's Place Warriors palette. There's this really deep chocolate brown, almost black looking before you start to use it. But once you put it on, you see that it's just a really dark brown. You're going to use a really small brush, and you're going to make C shapes on both sides of your eyelids. C shapes. That's the best way I can explain it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in with the same color, and we just kind of wiped our brush off a little bit so we can buff that color out to prepare for the next color. So the next color is going to be like a reddish brown color, like a clay color. And what you're going to do is you're going to use that, and you're going to place it behind the brown to kind of buff it out to prepare yourself to put down the yellow. So the yellow that I chose to use is kind of like a goldish yellow tone, like a honey yellow kind of. And I know it looked like I took myself back, but I didn't. I just shaped it out, and that's why y'all see the lines look a little bit skinnier. But like I told y'all, we're going to go in with those colors again, see? And I'm using that clay red again right here to kind of blend it into the yellow some, take away a little bit of the brightness, but it's still going to pop, especially when you put the glitter on. And now I'm just going back into that chocolate brown, so that way it makes the crease look way more deep whenever you go to put your butterfly wings. And you're going to do this on both sides of the line. I'll try to do makeup late at night, but sometimes my son, he's a mama's boy, so he just wake up and he like, where is my mama? So he came in there screaming like, oh, something was out to get him. I had to let him know, can't nothing get you. I'm an OG. So we got my son back to sleep, and I just went in one more time with that dark brown, but I used a smaller brush to make the lines just pop out at you. Feel free to skip to the end if you just here for the eyeshadow in general. But we're about to start doing the makeup part because I usually finish looks like this at the end because some of the look has to go over my makeup, if that makes sense. So the first thing we did was we used some moisturizer, and we primed our face with that, and then we went over it again with some dewdrops, and I'll put the links in the description. After that, we started to do our foundation, and yes, this is my winter color before y'all come for me. I've been doing makeup so long, I better know how to fix my winter shade because first of all, Fenty costs way too much to be replacing every single time the weather decide to act up in Texas. Okay, so back to the point. We're going to buff out our foundation with a regular foundation brush. Keep that brush by you because you're going to need it for this concealer. So for concealer, we are using the Almond Color by LA Pro. We're going to place it under our eyes, under our cheekbones, in the bridge of the nose, and then on the forehead and the chin. And with the same brush that we use for our foundation, we're going to go in and blend in our concealer. And for our concealer, we're just going to use the Black Radiance Concealer. And you do not need a lot of this, okay? Please do not use a lot of this because when I tell y'all it just works, it works. When I use this brush, I end up using another brush. This is just to kind of get those harsh lines out because some concealers are just really heavy and thick. On my eyes, when you go to blend it out with a softer brush, it's just like a smoother transition into your lighter concealer. This is me using a softer brush to buff out that contour color. I hope that y'all can see the difference in what I was talking about how the soft brush does with contour. So now I'm just using some banana concealer from LA Pro to lighten up some of those spots on my face, giving more of a dramatic look and kind of even out the redness in my tone. So I am letting that banana concealer warm up a little bit. So I'm gonna let it sit there for a couple seconds while I just do the rest of my makeup. I'm just buffing out those colors again. I'm not putting anything extra on my brush. I'm just going back over so it can be a smooth transition between the colors. Now I'm using Super Dewy Blush by Revolution Makeup in the color Fake the Fluff. And honestly, I just decided to blend this out with my fingers. I think that it's a pretty color. I think that it's real subtle and it just kind of sets the pace for the powder that you're going to put on top of it. So now that I've kind of played around a little bit and let the makeup sit, I'm going to start to blend out that banana concealer. Oh, y'all, this is kind of like my favorite part. I don't know why. It just kind of makes my makeup more dramatic, I guess. So once we get that blended out pretty good, we're going to spray our sponge. I know my sponge dirty. Don't judge me, okay? Go judge your mama. We spray our sponge. And damn, that was rude as fuck. Okay, we're going to spray our sponge and we're going to start to put some banana powder from Black Radiance. I love this stuff, y'all. Even though it's drugstore makeup, it does what it needs to do, okay? So I know that a lot of people don't like heavily bake anymore, but I do because sometimes it's just splotchy to me whenever I try to do it any other way because I'm so used to doing it this way. So I'm going to stick beside it. Anyway, so I have been doing my nose a little bit different. So I just go over the whole like bridge area of my nose with baking powder. Like that banana powder just go everywhere. I want like a Hello Kitty effect. Like I want the bottom of my nose to pop. I want it to look like ain't nothing else there. Almost, you know. So I'm just going to use one of these powders that's close to my skin tone to go over and dust off all of that banana powder that I just used. I'm also going to use like a reddish bronzer to go back over my contour areas and deepen it. Ugh, I just purchased this stuff not too long ago and I've been using it almost every other day. So I found some powder blush from Milani. I don't know the name of it, but I'll put it in the description. And I'm just going to use that as my blush today because it's really soft and we already got enough going on. Okay. So finally, what most of y'all are here for, let's finish up this eyeshadow, okay? So we're going to take some concealer on a brush, on a flat brush, and we're just going to start to make those butterfly wing type of shapes. And for my people who not artsy, do some triangles and put a real skinny, pretty little flowing tip at the end. That's the easiest way I can explain it. So once you get the wings drawn on, just to make it pop a little bit more, we're going to go over the wings with a white eyeshadow. Just fill it in to the best of your ability, especially if you're a beginner. Please do not drive yourself crazy with the perfectness, because we're going to put rhinestones on. And I did do my rhinestones off camera because they're already enough of a hassle, okay? For my gold glitter, I'm going to go into the Juvia's Place Wahala palette, and I'm just going to pat it in with my finger. I'm not going to use a brush. And I'm just going to put on some regular brown lipstick from NYX, and I'm going to put some concealer in the middle and blend it out. I'm going to use this black pencil as a lip liner. It's going to blend out brown, don't worry. And I got it for $1 at the hair store, so don't go searching for this stuff and spend those $7 on this, okay? And for that bright color, I'm going to get a similar brush, and I'm going to use the same eyeshadow that I used for my lids, the yellow color. We're going to go in with our setting spray. Y'all know we have to have that. We do this at least twice, by the way. After that, we're going to go in with our mascara, y'all. This stuff is life. Use this for my top and my bottom lashes. And yeah, that's the finished look. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank y'all so much for the support. We finna be lit this year. So turn up and get ready for me to be consistent.